What's going on, guys? Welcome to Photogromer Live, episode 3, coming at you live on May 18th. Yeah, let's go with May 18th, 2017. Today, we're going to be reviewing your Grom and Z125 user-submitted photos. If you submitted a photo, you got a notification, and you will be on episode 3, which is this one. We're almost booked up on episode 4. Episode 4 will air on May 30th. Just mark your calendars now. But first off, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Faith Wright and Johnny. Mr. Faith Wright and Johnny, which you see on the screen right now. He won episode 2 with this sweet shot here, which we edited last time on the show. He had a, I think it was 2014, 2015 Grom. He's done some stuff to it since then, but he won this picture. He got mailed out to him with a sticker pack and also featured on the website, which, let me go ahead and pull that up. If you do win this one, which we'll announce a winner at the end of the show, you'll end up here on the website. There you go. So, a little information here. Let me just go back to this shot real quick. So I'm running solo today. Mr. Moto Miyagi's not here. No co-host, just myself. But the good news is you're going to get a lot more editing today. So I'm going to spend some more time in Lightroom, show you some of my tips and techniques. I've already started drinking, just so you know. And yeah, we're going to power through some editing. So if you guys are into photography or editing at all, this is the episode for you. But again, we're going to go through and review the photos. Winner will end up on the website, receive a sticker pack. If you're in the live chat right now, I'll be trying to monitor that. So let me just pull that up real quick. Everybody say hello. Oh, wait, wrong button. There we go. There you are down there. So if you're in the live chat, you can see you guys right down there. Don't say anything too crazy. But I'll monitor that throughout the show, and I'll be answering some of your questions. We'll have a segment specific for questions and answers, so kind of hold them there. Also, sometime in the show, once we process through some of these photos, we're also going to pick a couple photos to review. So let me go ahead and pull those up real quick so you guys can take a look at them. Let's jump back over here. And you guys are going to tell me 1, 2, or 3. Which one do you want me to edit? I'll edit one of these. So 1 being far left, 2 being in the middle, 3 being at the end. Before you start voting, just keep in mind, only vote once, because if you hit enter too many times, you're going to get muted, and I can't unmute you. So number 1, let's go ahead and go through it. Number 1 is the Supermoto up on 1. Number 2 is the Grom going over the bridge in Jacksonville. This is all Grom Day 5.0 photos as well, so we'll edit those. But this is number 2, and number 3 is Mr. Adam up on 1 by the Maxwell House factory in Jacksonville. So going through them again, we got number 1 here, number 2, and number 3. So go ahead and vote in the chat, and we'll edit those somewhere in the chat or somewhere in the show down the road. But 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, I just kind of want to give a couple of shout outs before we kick off into this. So let me just go ahead and pull this back up. First off, Grommy Bear. So Grommy Bear released a 360 Wheelie Challenge dedicated video. If you haven't checked it out, there's a link in the description below. Wait till after this show, but check it out. Me and him have been going at a 360 Wheelie Challenge. Who can do a wheelie circle first for a few months now, and we're both pretty close. So great video, Grommy Bear. Check them out. Appreciate the support. Another quick note that I noticed back here. If you're on Twitter, you can use the hashtag PGLive, and then I'll put your tweets up on the screen during the show. If you have questions or comments, just use that guy behind me. Other thing I want to mention, you see this old school, this is going on the next group right here. The old school Photogromer part right here. This was sent in by Jaws Photo Life. His YouTube channel's in the description below. He's starting a moto vlog. He won the mail time contest, so he's getting a free Loopy shirt, which will be sent out to him. So I appreciate that, Jaws Life, or Jaws Photo Life. Also, just got back from Jacksonville. We did the Grom Day 5.0. Check this out. This was courtesy of Mr. and Mrs. Salette. They hooked it up with a little baby Grom shirt. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, "My dad has a cooler bike than your dad, 904 Grom Squad." I also, in the description, linked their YouTube, or not their YouTube, their Facebook page. Baby Carlos. Their Facebook page. They're doing shirts, so I don't know if they're opening up to the public, but if they are, contact them on the Facebook page. You might be able to get one. Speaking of shirts, there you go. We got Tampa Grom Squad shirts now, so let me just pull that up real quick. These were never offered to the public, but it's been a high demand, so I threw them up on Teespring. So if you guys want to pick up one, you can do so. Let me just pull this up here. It's at teespring.com/Tampa Grom Squad. If you want to pick up a Tampa Grom Squad shirt, this print is this batch is gonna print in 2 hours. So at the end of the show, if you want to pick one up, you can do so. And of course, Loopy shirts are available as well. So that's all teespring.com/Photogromer or /Tampa Grom Squad. Also links in the description below. So just take a look out there. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of twos popping up here. I'm just going to go through the live chat real quick and just double check. So let me pull that up if you guys are chatting. All right, so it looks like we've got a bunch of twos here. So we'll edit number 2, which is I see 2s and 3s, a couple 1s. So we'll start with this guy, we'll edit this guy, and then we'll, if we have time, we'll knock this one out as well. But before I get any further, I want to also say thank you to, let's jump up here. Hold on, guys. So I'm running this show by myself, so it's going to be a little tricky. You see the broken Dambo down there? That was a giveaway on the San Francisco video. So 8 meals was randomly selected in comments. So I do that every now and then whenever I break a bell or break a Dambo. I like to give it away, so I don't know why you guys want it, but he won, so he's going to get that. I'm mailing that out tomorrow. And if you order sticker packs, those are all getting shipped out tomorrow. So a lot of work and a lot of mail going to get shipped out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. With all that being said, we got some photos to review, so let's go ahead and jump in on the photos here. 1 second. All right, there we go. Let me take a sip of my... So we're having a boy, so if you guys don't know, so we got a bunch of leftover pink cups and pink straws. But yeah, doing Bacardi and diet tonight. All right, so let's jump in on the user submitted photos. So again, user submitted photos. If you want to do that, you can do so at photogromer.com/live. If you go there, you'll see a guideline. Just kind of follow it. Make sure you submit it per the guidelines so you guys get accepted right away. All right, so first one, we're going to kick it off here. Let me just pull up my notes here. Let's just go back to this view here. And just a reminder, I use Lightroom for all my photo editing. Lightroom or Adobe Photoshop, but most of the stuff you're going to see me use is Lightroom. So this is, first submission is from Josh, aka Invisimoto. Invisimoto is located in Las Vegas, Nevada. He has a 2017 Honda Grom. His Honda Grom has let me zoom out here a little bit, has an M4 exhaust, which you can't see because he only favors his left side of the Grom. He's got TST fender eliminator though, and a competition works integrated tail light, KevTech subcage, 14-tooth front sprocket, 30-tooth super light rear sprocket, DID, O-ring chain, pro taper Raptor bars, pro taper grips, driven bar adapters, Brembo handbrake and master, Brembo P34 handbrake caliper, PSD, Brembo stock to caliper mount, and a Moose Easy Pull Clutch, EBC clutch springs, TSD flush mount singles, and a Chimera RAM intake. I remember that from what Moto Miyagi told me last time I was here. He shot these photos on his Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. There you go. What do you think about Mr. Moto, or Invisimoto's Grom here? 2017 red. It's all Honda red. He's got a good little setup with this. I like the KevTech, so I'm running KevTech as well for my sub cage. Photo-wise, I mean, there's some nice ducks back here. You cut off your wheel here, so I would just maybe take a step back. It looks this can't be Las Vegas. So it says in his notes he used to be in Tampa. I guess he rode with Moto Miyagi back in the day, but he moved out to Las Vegas. This looks more like Vegas here. Yeah, so I like the ducks in the background, like the palm trees. You cut off your wheel here. Good looking Grom. I'm not a huge favor on the red. That's just personal preference, but I like the setup with the dual caliper. I like your Brembo handbrake setup. That's legit. Looks like he's got a GoPro here, so he's got a YouTube channel. Check him out. Yeah, I mean the photos are kind of flat. They're kind of they're showing off the bike, which is nice. But yeah, just maybe I'm just gonna screw around here with the colors a little bit, but kind of limited what I can do with this. Maybe just plan your shots a little better. Rule of thirds: put your bike at the third. So don't ever center your bike unless you got like kind of, I don't know, like a if it makes sense, like even sides on left and right, then you can center your subject. But Something with the S7, they always have these weird crops. There we go. Nope. I want to go to this one. There we go. So that's kind of what DSLR will kind of give you with a full frame, that kind of look right there. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I know some guys love the Honda Red, and yeah, as far as photos go, there's not much really to say about it. I mean, it's good. You can showcase your bike. It's a good looking bike. Nothing against the bike. I like the bike, but photos, maybe just put a little bit more effort into it. Work on your framing. If you're gonna do a shot like this, again, I always say this: turn the bike. Let me flip the camera here. Turn the bike that way, so I get all the exhaust, because the kickstand leans away from the camera, so you get more of a profile of the bike. It looks pretty tits. So if you change that around a little bit, I feel like you'll have a better shot. Just position your Grom or your bike or subject, whatever it is. These little guys, I would get rid of these little guys immediately. Those are stupid. Little screw-on reflectors. As soon as you take those off, wrap these guys. I think it adds a lot to the Grom. Just get rid of the gold, maybe put black here. I think that would look real solid. And then get rid of these guys. But yeah, I'll be in Vegas. Hey, FYI. Sorry, wait, let me go back. These photos are amazing. These photos are the best photos I've ever seen. I'll be in Vegas this Sunday through Thursday if you want to let me borrow your Grom. I probably should have led with that instead of talking shit. Good looking Grom though. I love the 17s. It doesn't look like he looped out at all, which is pretty impressive. If you want to meet up when I'm in Vegas, hit me up. Send me a message. I'll be staying at the Paris, I think. Paris, Las Vegas. Busy all day, but at night I have some free time. So if you want to meet up, we can do so. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's keep this game going. Oh, this is going to be a good one. All right, so I should have organized this a little better. Sorry, guys. Let me bring these guys up here. So the next one comes out from, one second, let me get this good. He sent me a little updated one because he added exhaust. Number 2 comes up from Steven Tripp. He's at Camel23 on Instagram. He's from Marquay, Michigan. 2014 Honda Grom. Pro taper bars. Let me just make this a little bigger. Pro taper bars. Let me take a sip of this guy. ASV levers. Vagabond fender eliminator. Maxxis tires. CRG mirror. Ram phone mount. He's had the Grom... Have had the Grom about a week, so I don't have any support and shots. I have taken a few bike photos that I thought you might like, and I've included some of those. So he included some of his photography stuff. Got some great photos there. So let me just pull those up real quick. So, and he's got his website, which is StevenTripp with 2Ps.com. There you go, his name right there, .com. So yeah, what do you guys think about this Grom? First off, photos are amazing. He took these photos with a Nikon D610. He has a 7200 f2.8, support and shots taken with a Nikon D500 and a 300 f2 2.8. So let me go back to this view in a second. Let me show you. He's got the Nikon version of this lens right here. Whoa, dropping stuff on, guys. So this guy. So this is the Canon version right here. This is the Canon version of this 300 2.8. So he's got the Nikon version with that. He's saying he took his supporting shots. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. Took his supporting shots with this guy. So he's got some MotoGP or what is this? Where's this at? It's kind of hard to tell with the tires. He's got some motocross here. Motocross, great shots here. Love the framing. So great framing. So this is like, obviously he's professional. He's using professional equipment, but he's got some great framing, great action shots, content rich environment. So yeah, this is, I can't say too much more than the photos already kind of show you. It's pretty amazing. And then he uses 7200, which is a zoom 2.8 fixed aperture lens. Well, not fixed aperture, but 2.8, which is a real fast lens. And yeah, he's almost at 200. Let's see what he's at. I would say he's probably close to 200. 165 and 200 on this one. So yeah, clean photos. He's at 2.8 f4. Okay, he's at f4 on this one. Let me just make this full screen here. f4 on this one and f2.8. So aperture, if you guys aren't aware, lets more light in and also creates this depth of field effect. So if you have an iPhone 7 Plus, you have portrait mode, and on portrait mode, you can create a false depth of field with it. So it pretty much just crops around. It's kind of silly. It crops around right here. If you were to take this picture, it would crop around this. This would be clear, and then it adds this this depth of field right here, this bokeh or whatever you want to call it, in the background. So a 2.8 or an f4, especially at 200, will create this shallow depth of field, and you'll have, as you can see, only part of this bike is in focus. The Honda's in focus, but the Grom and the exhaust is out of focus. So that's just a little photography information. It just creates that portrait mode that you get with your iPhone 7 Plus if you're not in the photography. But if you got a DSLR, always shoot with, well, don't always shoot, but if you want to create this effect, shoot with a wide open aperture. So the lowest number, some of the kit lenses, the lowest you can go is 5.6. Yeah, great shots, very clean shots, non-distracting backgrounds. If you were to shoot this with an iPhone, all this background back here would be in focus, so it would take away from the bike. But right here, because he's using such a shallow depth of field, it just eliminates the background, just creates a nice, dreamy background, which is really nice. And then his professional photos, they're all great photos. The motocross I probably like a little bit more. I like the free. So he's shooting at 1/1250 at 2.8, 1/2000. So he's freezing all this stuff. If he was shooting at a slower shutter speed like 1/200, all these dirt particles would just kind of be blurred out. He would probably be blurred out a little bit. There'd be some motion blur there. So good job freezing it. Good job framing it. Quality stuff. Not much more I can say about it besides, really good job. That's the type of submissions I like to see. It's nice to see stuff like that. So really good job. I like your Grom. Even though you just got it, I think you're on the right track as far as I don't know if you did any of those mods, but I think you're on the right track when it comes to your Grom. Let me just take a look at the Grom again. So he's got the knobbies on it. Again, maybe just wrap the forks, up to you, but I prefer black forks to just take away. I think the gold takes away from it, but it doesn't look too bad with this scheme. Maybe get some flush mounts on the side. Get rid of these big handlebars over here, these turn signals. Besides that, take your stickers off. That's it. That's just kind of things that I would do if I had this Grom, but clean looking Grom, great shots. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, I'm gonna take some questions. So if you have some questions, start posting them in the chat below. I will start answering those in a minute. We're gonna go through one more, and then we'll start answering some of your questions. So go ahead and ask some of your questions down below in the chat, and then we're gonna roll through and do one more user submitted photo review, and then we'll answer some of those questions. Let's go ahead and jump up to numero trace, which is Dean. He is Dean, aka Nola Rider, or Rolla, excuse me, Nola Rolla. Say that 3 times fast. So he's in New Orleans, so there's the Nola aspect of it. He's got a stock Z125 with a Dark Knight Street cage and sub cage. He shot this with his Android phone and his Canon SX40HS, which I guess that would be this shot. So if you look in Lightroom, it kind of gives you some of the data here if he includes it. I think this was shot with his phone. This was shot with whatever camera that is, that Canon camera. I never heard of that before. Dark Knight Street. I've never seen a Dark Knight Street subcage on the Z yet, so that's interesting. They got the full foot rest for doing stand-ups. So he doesn't have it on this. So he's got it on this photo, but not this one. So this must be when he first got it. But full crash cage, looks nice. Again, I'm a stickler for stickers. I always get rid of those stickers. So yeah, I would just, if I were to recommend a mod, an easy mod to do to your Groms or your Zs, is get rid of these stickers right here. Just take some goo off or whatever it's called. Was it goo off? Yeah, I think it's goo off. Anyway, take the goo off, just kind of scrape that out with a razor blade, a flat razor blade, unscrew these reflectors. That cleans it up a lot. Get some flush mount turn signals. TST's got some nice options. Maybe some other bars. The mirrors are pretty nice on the Zs. This photo, I like that you did this. I like that you actually, I'm going to play with this a little bit. I like that you saw this opportunity and you framed it like this, because I like the contrast with the bright blue and then the green and the blacks. I think it's pretty clean. I'm just going to make the the photo to a DSLR spec, add a little bit of vignetting, and then I just bump up the shadows a little bit of clarity. Let's go up a little bit, give it that grunge look, a little bit of vibrance. But yeah, I mean, not a bad shot. Again, if you were to take this off and wrap these forks, if these forks are black and you got rid of this little guy right here, I feel like that would, well, obviously you got rid of the mud flap already, right? Did you? Let's look. I think you got rid of it. Yeah, you did. Okay, you got rid of the mud flap with the Dark Knight Street subcage. Yeah, I would just wrap the forks black. And if you want to do that, you can do that with, I think it's called Blue Ridge Decal. Fork U, just Google Fork U. They got kits that you can just wrap those forks and not have to worry about them again. So yeah, so good looking bike. I like the Z's. I'm starting to fall more in love with the Z's, to be honest. They're just cleaner when it comes to the photos. I'm starting to notice the user submitted photos, the Z's I'm kind of leaning towards. But yeah, just wrap those forks if you want to clean it up a little bit. As far as the photo goes, I always say this, flip the bike around, get the exhaust side. Again, you're leaning the bike away from the camera so you get more profile of the bike. But I like that you took the initiative to find a nice location like this, maybe just revisit it, frame it so your bike's here, and then you got in the lower thirds, and then you have the graffiti maybe to the right, and maybe have some distance between it, between your bike and the wall. That would create a nice little depth of field and bring your focus a little bit back towards your bike. But good photo. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's take some questions. Let me get a sip of my Bacardi and Coke here. Let's see what you guys are saying. All right, I'm gonna just scroll up here. Ooh, someone just threw $2. Thanks, Joshua. Thanks, buddy. All right, did you have a question with that? Let's see, coming in late. I'm looking for question marks. At Photogromer, if you're gonna edit a bunch of photos with the same preset, is it better to use RAW? Yes. So if you're gonna edit any photos in Lightroom, not even with preset, but any photos in general, let me just show you real quick. So let me jump back here. So if you're gonna edit this photo, this is a JPEG photo. So you can see it right here, JPEG. If you were to adjust the white balance on this, you're limited on the amount of range that you can adjust, not just with white balance, but also with exposure, highlight, shadows, all that stuff. You're limited on how much depth you have to correct in post. If you shoot RAW, you're going to get a much, let me just reset this, you're going to get a much flatter image. So if we go to my RAW images from Grom Day, so these are all RAW images, and this is one you guys wanted edited. So you can see it's very flat, right? So not very, the vibrance isn't there. So this is a RAW photo. If you go right here, let me just show you. Go right here, CR2, that's the Canon RAW file. And if we were to adjust stuff, so white balance, for example, I like to sample off something white. That's something white. This is a little bit off because that's in the shadows. It's trying to bring that in. But if I were to adjust the white balance here, bring back the highlights of the sky, which there aren't really much. It was a foggy day. Bring up the shadows. All this stuff. Even the exposure, I'm up almost 2 stops right here on exposure. If this was a JPEG photo, which let's go back to that JPEG photo that we had before. That was Dean. Yeah, Dean. So if we were to take this photo and go up 2 stops, you're going to see a lot of noise and a lot of processing. So let's just go up a couple. So you can see you're starting to wash out here. This is kind of, let's go back to the other picture. That'll probably be a better one. So if you look at the bike itself at 2 stops, oops, you're getting a lot of noise here. You lose that ability to kind of bring out corrections that you would have. Hold that thought real quick. I gotta go turn the camera back on. You lose that. So I'm gonna talk while I'm walking. You lose that ability to do those adjustments or do that wide spectrum of the adjustments. You can still do them. You can do a little bit of corrections. When I shot track photography, I would only shoot in JPEG because I would shoot like 20,000 photos per weekend, and if I were to shoot raw file is probably like 25 megs each versus like 5 or 6 for just a high JPEG. you lose a lot of space real quick. But yeah, if you're gonna shoot anything and you have the option to shoot raw, I always recommend shoot raw, especially if you're gonna bring it into post afterwards. You just have so much more ability to correct stuff. So half the stuff you see, if I were to post my straight out of the camera stuff, it wouldn't be that great. If I were to post this like this, it's mediocre at best. But if I bump up the clarity, bring it up a little bit, bring up the shadows, adjust the white balance a little bit, warm it up, you know, I could start really getting in there and making this look pretty high quality just by using post processing after the fact, which you can do in Lightroom again. If you guys are straight mobile users, probably JPEG's the best for you. You're not going to really bring it in and do any editing on a computer, then, you know, there's not much to say, but there's a quick before and after right there. Let's see if there's any other questions real quick, and then we'll jump in to maybe editing this a little bit more. Hey, Vizimoto said Sin City Grom Squad has a couple extra Groms in there. Hey, hit them up. Let me know if anybody's down. Sunday I arrive. I got to set up. We're doing headshots, so I got to set up the whole headshots session. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're shooting all day. But in the evening, probably late at night, probably after 8, I might be able to get out for a couple hours. So yeah, absolutely. If you guys can hook it up, I might bring the helmet. Any other questions? Let me just look real quick. How's the 360 challenge coming? Yeah, it's coming real good. I think me and Grommy Bear are both pretty close to completing it. If we were to, I think, go out in a big lot for 2 days back to back, I think one of us would win. We're going to try to hold off on winning until we're at the Smoky Mountain Crawl, which is June 9th through 11th. If you guys want to head up there, it's in Tennessee. Big meetup from Man in the Box. We're going to try to do the finale there, so we're kind of holding off on that. How many times have I looped? I looped 3 times. 3 times backwards, 2 times forward, I think. Any other questions? How many times have you looped? Same question. All right, that's it. Wow, a lot of questions about how many times I looped. Jeez. All right, let's jump into editing again. I'm going to go to full screen and kind of get in front of my big computer here. So, again, if you have any questions about Lightroom, please ask those. Those are the type of questions I can answer real easy while I'm editing. First off, let's just go ahead and jump into, this is grid view, so this is the library view. This is where you can just go through your photos, organize them, what have you. When you hit D or develop, you jump into the develop module, and then you bring up all these different controls on the right here, which control exposure, contrast, white balance, tint, shadows, whites, blacks, clarity, vibrance, saturation. Then you got additionals. If you want to just bring out the hues in the blues or the yellows, you can do so here. If you want to change it to black and white, you can do all that. Split toning, details, if you want to sharpen it up a little bit, do some noise reduction. If you got too high of an ISO, you can bring that back a little bit. You got profile correction, so if I were to hit this now, because I'm shooting with a 15mm fisheye, it's kind of going to get rid of some of the distortion. I personally like the distortion. You got auto leveling, auto vertical leveling, which you can constrain the crop. I'll just kind of bring it so it looks kind of straight level. So if you look at the rail back here, you can see that's on a level plane, especially if you check the lines right here. Pretty good. Again, I kind of like my little crazy angle here, so I'll refresh that or reset that. So when I'm editing photos, the first thing I do is I just start with the basic stuff. So with this one, let me just see. Yeah, that's full crop. So I would like more of this background with all these Groms in there, but going over the bridge, this guy was up on 1. You know, I kind of didn't frame it right. I hang off. You guys seen how I shoot the pictures, but first thing I do is I probably bring up the shadows. Hold on, guys. We got some things happening behind me. $10,639 of you guys subscribed to me. I appreciate it. Thanks to all the new subscribers from Grommy Bear's channel. I really appreciate it, guys. That's going to go back to Photogromer Live here in a second, so just don't get too distracted by the loud noise. But let me get back into this edit real quick. Let me go ahead and just cancel this one out. Okay. You're going to hear some loud noises here in a second. All right, so this photo right here, again, I start with the shadows. I like to bring the clarity up on my photos, especially when you have like industrial type grates like that or steel. I think it just adds a lot to it. Vibrance I always bring up because it's always going to be a little flat with raw. Highlights I bring down a little bit. You can see his shirt's a little blue, so the white balance is a little out. So I'll probably yellow this up just a little bit. And then contrast, sometimes I'll add. I saw Grom Garage asked if I had contrast. Sometimes I do, it depends. If it's a day shot like this, you're going to get a lot of contrast right off the bat. So too much contrast, especially if you have like green, will just kind of look yellow. So I'm not a big fan of a lot of contrast. I'm also not a fan of the flat look. So this is the flat look here. So this one, it looks pretty good as far as contrast goes, as far as my eye, that I would see it. I always kind of put a vignette on it, so it just brings the eye to the subject, which is right here. You also want the eye to kind of go back here as well. So on this type of photo, I might straighten it a little bit because it is a little tilted, and then just crop it in a bit. And then, let's see here, bring it over a little bit so I got a little bit of room here, but I kind of want to keep these guys in. So if I were to just do a regular vignette, it would bring shadows all the way over here, all the way over here. It would just create a nice little circle around this photo and darken the outside edges. So I don't want to do that. What I would do is use my gradual tool over here and have some presets for like skin softener, stuff like that. But all it is just kind of adjusting these faster for me. But if you start with all zeros, I like to bring the highlight, or excuse me, the exposure down, probably about 1, highlights down a little bit. When you have a bridge like this, though, what you kind of run into is you see the sky is bleeding into the steel here, which doesn't look natural. So what you can do with Lightroom is erase some of that. So you can erase some of that effect right here. So if you just turn on Auto Mask, it's going to mask off straight lines. You can turn that off as well. But if you take off that effect on the build-ins off the steel, kind of makes it a little bit more believable. So there you go, just remove some of that. And then the blues, I would probably bring the saturation up just a little bit, and this down just a little bit, and then I would bring it up. So it's all feel for the most part, but you can see it is a little flat. So to Grom Garage's point, at this point, I would add some contrast. I'm at 39 now, so that's kind of high. It's a little dark over here, but I still think it's okay. Blacks, I might bring those up a little bit to combat that high contrast. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good from a start and a finish. Let's just look at that real quick. So here's your before picture, and then your after picture. Depending on your screen, you might see it might look a little bit more purple. You know what I probably would do is add one more thing. I would probably bring this down a little bit here and just bring your eye so it's a little bright down there. Bring your eye a little bit forward, so I'd bring that saturation down a little bit. And then there you go. There's the before, there's the after. That's just a quick edit. You can also use clone tools if you were to want to bring some of this stuff out. So get rid of some of this. So like that bright area down there. Some of these little bright lines that kind of just draw your eyes away from it. You can do that as well. But that's a quick edit. Just give you a little idea of how that process works. But again, all this is Lightroom. You can also go in. So one other thing I probably would do. You see how these blacks are real milky. So they're kind of gray more than black. I would probably go in and darken this up a little bit. So the wheels, let me go back. Might even turn on Auto Mask. But I would just go around and clean this up a little bit, darken that up a little bit. So shadows I want to bring up are mostly on him, some on the Grom, but don't want to go too bonkers. Some of this stuff I want to have nice dark blacks here, so I don't want it too milky, too gray, another way to say it. So I'd probably go around like this stuff and just clean that up a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. So just again, there's a before, there's an after. It is still a little blue, so I'd probably bring down my blues a little bit more on saturation. There we go. Maybe bring the greens up a little bit, just add a little color. before, after. So let me just give you a full screenshot. Zoom out a little bit. So before and after. Before, after. So that's probably something I'd upload. And then I got presets when I export where it just puts my Photogromer logo in the same spot. For me, it's on the center. But some people do it on the right, the left, depending on what you want to do. I put it on the center because a lot of people steal it and put it on Instagram. And then the center is usually the one part that will remain the same. So your logo is always on there. All right, let's go ahead and go back. Let me see if there's any other questions jumping in here. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Sorry, I'm not tuning in to Twitter tonight. Unfortunately, doing it myself, so it's a little hard to do all these things. But ask your questions in the live track in the live chat if you're still in the live chat. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh man, Jeff Dana. All right, and wife. All right, let's pull up his credentials. Let me just get you a nice little backdrop here while I'm reading this off. So Jeff's from Jacksonville, Florida. He's part of the 904 Grom squad. He's running a Zeus Armor front cage in both bikes. He's got a Zeus Armor sub cage on the Z125, a Yoshimura RS9 exhaust on both. Photo credit, hopefully not this one, goes out to Mr. Dust Rider Vlogs on Instagram, aka Mason. So here's Mason's shots here. And yeah. Very nice. Yeah, so let's go to the photos real quick. So Jeff and Dana are based out of Jacksonville. I rode with them many times. Jeff's come down here. His wife is up there, but they're part of the Grom Day 5.0 ride. Good looking bikes. I like the colors on both of them. I love so this is his wife's bike over here, the Grom with the pink Zeus Armor cage. It's just really clean bikes. They're both really clean bikes. Can't say much about this photo right here, but to each their own. It's 2017. Yeah, I mean Mason's my little Photogromer junior. If you haven't watched the episode where Mason's in it, he had his little EOS M with him, and he was taking some photos with his fisheye. So he's up and coming on the Photogromer game. So check him out at Dust Rider Vlogs, both on Instagram and YouTube. Good photos, the ones you sent me in are not that great, but I'm going to give Mason the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to assume he didn't crop off this wheel right here, and maybe you just cropped it in a little too much, Jeff. But good photos, depth of field here, so Jeff's bike's blurred out, but his wife's bike is in focus. So good setup there, good framing. Clean bikes, one of each, got the Z and the Grom. Yeah, not much more to say about them, but, I go stock exhaust myself. That started with Wheelie, but the Yoshimura is the one I just had and got rid of. Good exhaust. Zeus Armor, I know 904 Grom Squad has a hookup with Zeus Armor, and they definitely all run Zeus Armor. I've never had any experience with them, so I've just run KevTech, but I like the powder coating on specifically this one. It looks pretty nice. So the only thing I don't have on the KevTech, which I wish I did, was the rear foot brake or foot pad, whatever you want to call it, foot rest. I don't know what you call it, but when I try to do like stand-ups or staggered stand-ups, what they call knee stand-ups, whatever they're called, I try to do those with the KevTech. I feel like if I loop, I'm gonna break my foot, so it'd be nice to have a place for my foot right there. That's the only gripe I have with the KevTech cage I have, but I kind of like the KevTech myself, the look of it. Practicality, it's already bent. It's already bent on me. People get behind me, they say it's pretty fucked up. So I don't know how strong they are. Maybe I just did something. I got the reinforced subframe braces, so I was a little disappointed in that. But besides that, I like the look of it. So yeah, if Zeus Armor wants to send me one, go ahead. I might put one on. That goes for anybody too. I'll whore it up. No product spotlight tonight. Haven't been reaching out to anybody this week, but yeah, I'm going to try to get that dialed in for the next episodes, and I want to be able to give away the product spotlight. So whatever they send in, I want to be able to give away to one of you guys, kind of initiative to kind of watch the show. But yeah, good looking bikes. Can't say much more about them, Jeff and wife. They're clean bikes. I've seen them in person. Photos, they're good photos. Good job, Mason. Send me the higher reses, because I know you didn't crop off this tire up here. I know you wouldn't do that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next one comes in from Ryan Burke. Ryan Burke is in Tarpon, Florida, which is actually pretty close to me. I don't think I've ridden with you yet. I don't remember this Grom. If I have, maybe you didn't have this whole setup before this wrap, but let me go through his specs. He's got a 2015 Grom. He's got a KevTech cage. So that's not a KevTech up there. He's got a crash cage. I don't know what kind of cage this is. That's not KevTech. Let's see. Not sure what brand, but he's got custom rear sets, custom homemade sub cage. There we go. Custom homemade sub cage, 12 bar, RC clutch lever, Brembo rear handbrake, upgraded fuel injectors, upgraded clutch springs, 50 slider front. So we got 50 fork sliders and subframe sliders, 50 stunt, M4 low mount exhaust, integrated tail light, and he said sorry for the shitty photos. They were on his GoPro. So he took this on the Causeway, it looks like, or Fred Howard Park. Yeah, been there a few times. I don't think I've ridden with him yet, but I like the wrap. I mean, I don't know who did the wrap, but I'd be interested to know who did that because I would love to wrap mine with some unique custom printed stuff. So I don't think I've ridden with you, Ryan. I don't know. Are these powder coated rims or are they plasti dip? He's got the black fork wraps, which he didn't mention. Obviously, the whole wrap on the bike. What else can I see? The M4 exhaust. Yeah, not a fan of the M4 exhaust. Were these painted or they come white? I can't remember. Flush mounts up here, pro tapers. Good looking bike. I mean, yeah, the photos are GoPro photos, but I might be able to still do something with them. So let me find the best one. You got a van in the background there. I would say this one's probably the best one. So you can see the pixelation up here on a GoPro. It's a pretty big file size, but if you were to bring these highlights down or exposure and then bring the shadows up a little bit, let's bring the exposure up a little bit, add a little bit of vibrance. So, and then for my sky, I would darken that up a little bit. And for sharpness, I would get rid of the sharpness. Clarity, I'd get rid of that a little bit. And then noise, bring the noise down. I always screwed this up on the slider. I think it's this way. Is that right? I never do noise on the graduate filter. And then maybe just bring this up a little bit, put your bike at the thirds. Boom. Get rid of some of this stuff down here. So I would spend more time getting rid of this. So in Lightroom, you have a clone brush, you have a heel brush. Clone's just going to take whatever you sample over here and it's going to replace it right there. So if I were to take that, it's going to put that, since I put it there. Heel's going to kind of take the aspect of it, then kind of blend it in a little bit more. So I use heel probably more in Lightroom and clone more in Photoshop. But you can get rid of all these little oil spots right here and make it really nice. Some of this noise back here, you can smooth out. Let's just go here. Let's see if I gotta just go that way. Sharpness, bring that down. There we go. So you can see what's happening to the sky, getting rid of all those pixels. So the amount of time you spend on editing is a better photo you're gonna get. You know, it's all about how much time you have, but you can do a lot in Lightroom and really recover a lot of details. Even take like a shitty GoPro picture and make it somewhat salvageable. Clarity is pretty good. I'd probably bring sharpness up a little bit and maybe a little bit of noise reduction. Maybe a little bit more. Actually, I'm gonna drop these blacks down a little bit and maybe a little bit of contrast. All right, so before, after, and again, that's a 5-minute edit, but that just gives you a little idea. Even with a GoPro picture or an iPhone picture, if you have a computer, access to a computer, you can get Lightroom for like $5-10 a month. So I would recommend it. Good photos, man. I haven't met you yet. At least I don't think I have, Ryan. But yeah, if you come out to a ride, look forward to meeting you. And if you have any questions on the photos, definitely help you out with some of those. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next one comes in from Mr. Sam. Let's go ahead and bring up his photo. He has one photo. Sam is, well, first off, he has a 2017 Honda Grom. He has Pro Taper bars, M4 exhaust. M4 exhaust are popular today. TSD flush mount signals with fender eliminator, Trex Racing engine cage. I think that's that right here. That's actually kind of clean. He lives in Sherman, Texas, and he shot this with his Galaxy S6 phone. So photo, I mean, you got a Instagram filter on it. You got an Instagram framing on it. The Grom, I would like to see. I'd like to see more of the Grom. I like the Grom, but I kind of want to see it without all the filters applied. It does look like a unique setup. I like this crash cage a lot. I like that a lot. I'm not a big fan of the M4, but it looks like you got some heat shrink wrap around this guy. So that's kind of interesting. Again, stickers. I'm a stickler for stickers. Remove the stickers. The black Grom with the red calipers actually look pretty good. Maybe just fork wraps up here, black. Matte black. It looks like you got Honda Minis up there. Not sure what this thing is. Is that a bell? I think that's a bell. And then a single mirror over here. Good looking Grom. I'd like to see it without the Instagram filter. So if I were to give you guys some advice, just kind of take it easy on the Instagram filter, especially if you're submitting. The original photos I can do a lot with. Once you add these Instagram filters, it kind of flattens it out and kind of creates its own little filter, own little look that's kind of hard to recover. So yeah, kind of, especially if you're posting on Instagram and you're shooting with, this guy had a S6 Galaxy phone. The Galaxy phones and the iPhones, their cameras are pretty good, so their processing is pretty legit. So when you're uploading on Instagram, just do a little bit of adjustments. Don't go bonkers with the filters. Try to stay away from the filters. Just do the hard adjustments with the highlights, the shadows, vibrance, or whatever they have, and then maybe a little structure, clarity. I'm a fan on structure, but yeah, just take it easy on the filters on Instagram. But good looking Grom. Yeah. Hey, Ryan Burke, I see you're in the chat. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I would say good looking Grom. Reshoot it. Shoot it at without the crop, or send in the photo without the 1x1 crop. So it's not just a square photo, and then these frames or filters or whatever you're using, just stay away from those. All right, last photo we have for user submitters, then I'm going to go back and edit one more photo for you guys, is Adam from the 904 Grom Squad. Let's go ahead and pull up his goodness here. He's in Jacksonville, Florida. He runs a Kawasaki Z125 Pro, and he has Pro Taper Honda Minis on it, TST Industry rear tail lights, fender delete. And he shot this with his iPhone 7 Plus. So I was mentioning the iPhone 7 Plus, it creates, you have that portrait mode which creates that false depth of field, or that computer depth of field. It just kind of does it with its software. So what I was saying earlier, if you zoom in, let's go ahead and make this full screen here. If you zoom in on this guy, hold on, hold that thought. Let me make it 3:1. There we go. If you zoom in on this guy, you can see along the edges, it's still in focus. So what iPhone does with portrait mode on the iPhone 7 Plus, it takes the photo, you can see, it creates almost like a mask. So it finds the lines, and then it creates the background. It makes it all soft and blown out like that, like a shallow depth of field. But you can see the focus, that processing also bleeds on the bike. So you can see the levers got some processing right there. So that's that portrait mode. Some of the bike right here, it's creating a depth of field, an artificial depth of field, but you can see it missed it right here. So that's all in focus back there. But for Instagram, especially down here, you can definitely see it down there, right there. So for Instagram, I think it's pretty amazing. If you have an iPhone 7 Plus, especially if you can use, like, if you have really good lines to where your background isn't busy, it's not like a thing of grass or trees or something like that. It's not a busy background, it's a solid color. The portrait mode on the iPhone 7 Plus, you can get away with some cool looking photos, and especially on Instagram, because nobody's going to zoom in as much as I am on Lightroom. So you can get away with some good looking photos for a camera phone. So if you want to boost up your Instagram and you have an iPhone 7 Plus, use that portrait mode. Just pay attention to those lines, and then where that artificial depth of field takes effect. So Adam, I rode with him. Adam's a good guy. I've always been friends with him for a while. Good looking Z125. He's got this wrap on it, changes color, sparkles. So he pulled his pants down and mooned everybody. I got a nice picture of that. Check out his Instagram. So yeah, his ass is all over Instagram and Facebook. But Good looking bike, clean looking bike. The photos, again, he's using the iPhone 7 Plus, so I would probably just take a step back. Like I said, use the background, make it solid so it's not so busy and you don't see these lines back here where that focal point kind of the processing kind of doesn't, the effect or whatever you want to call it, doesn't process right. You can see on the forks too as well. Doesn't really hit right there. But good looking bike. Yeah, if you're going to take the photos again, I would maybe just find a solid background where you don't have this type of stuff. But clean looking bike. I really like that bike in person. I got these pictures before the Grom Day ride. Didn't know what it would look like in person, but in person it looks even better than it does right here. All right, guys, post some questions now. I'm going to answer some of those, but we're going to go back and edit one more photo. I want to edit, and then also keep in mind who you want to win. So let's take a look at this. Don't vote yet, but just let's go through the previous submissions. So number one here is Josh in Vizimoto. This was his submission. Next one is Steven or Stefan. Steven. It's definitely Steven. Steven Tripp. Here's his submission. Don't pay attention to these guys down here. We'll call it, I don't know, new exhaust. We'll call it this one. Here's his submission. Next we have Dean. Dean, I like this photo. Well, hold on before I jacked it up. This is Dean's photo right here. And then next up, so that would be number 3. Number 4 is Jeff. This is not his photo. We'll call this. This is actually Dust Rider's photo, but we'll call that his photo. Ryan Burke. We'll call this his photo right here. He is number 5. Number 6 is Sam, and number 7 is Adam. So just keep that in mind. Don't vote yet. We're gonna go ahead and jump into here. Oh, perfect example. Here's Adam's bike right here. So this is Adam at Grom Day 5.0 last weekend, or the weekend before, in Jacksonville, right before the police chopper came down on us. But I'm gonna go ahead and edit this one. Ask your questions now. I'll check them when I'm done editing, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of tips on that. Let me just go full screen here. All right, so on this guy, let's go ahead and change it to Phil. So this is the full photo right here. First thing I would do is probably straighten this out just a little bit. So I'd bring this in like that, get rid of that guy. These two guys are kind of taken away from it. I'm gonna put Adam kind of right on the thirds right here. So if you look at that line, it's right on his wheel. And then I would just rotate it a little bit, get it a little bit straighter. Bring it in maybe even a little bit more. Get rid of that shadow on the left side. Okay. Then the next thing I would do, probably hit it with the vignette. Maybe even a little bit more. I just go through that's a little bit too much. A little bit too much. That should be good. Now I'm going to bring up my exposure a little bit. Shadows a little bit. Clarity, I'm going to jump it down a little bit. That's a little too much. Blacks, I'll bring that up a little bit. And this is all just feel. It needs vibrance. You can see it's really flat, so I might go a little bit crazy on that. Bring in the yellows. So yellows, I might bust up the saturation. You got to be careful with the yellows because if it's a warm day like that, you can really overdo it. Blues, some people like to go bonkers with the blues to bring this all the way down, create a nice rich sky. You got to be really careful with that, but you can bring it down a little bit. White balance, probably sample off this dude's helmet right here. There we go. That's pretty close. Sharpen, I'd bring it a little bit. See, I kind of don't like, now the longer I look at this guy over here on the right, he's kind of distracting me. So I might even go as far as cropping this in and that palm tree too, all the way like that. And then bringing it up a little bit. So this would be like an Instagram only photo just because it's cropped so tight. Maybe like that. It's still really tight. So this one, the framing, it's kind of hard because I got this guy over here and he's distracting me when I look at the photo. So I might bring down the exposure. Oh, it looks like shit, huh? Yeah. Yeah, some of these just don't work out. Damn. Yeah, I'd probably have to keep them in there, to be honest. Sometimes you want to be able to make it framed a little bit different. You just don't have the ability, but I think that's okay, right? Like that.
I would probably bring up my focal point a little bit, so I would just do that by darkening this down below. Brings your eye a little bit more to him. Let's see where we're at. The other thing we can do is do a localized mask. Well, I don't want to do sharpness, but what I can do is highlights a little bit and exposure a little bit. So that'll just bring a little bit more focus onto him. So the way we're doing that is just we have darker surroundings, and then your eye automatically goes to the bright part, which is right here. You might have to go in here and do like a localized brush just to bring up the white balance a little bit. You can see it's a little blue down here, so I might go through and make that a little more yellow. Bring the saturation down a little bit. And yeah, so before, obviously the crop's the same, and after, yeah, pretty close. I would probably spend a little bit more time. I might get rid of this guy over here. So you're kind of limited what you can do in Lightroom. You can do a lot, but some of the stuff I'd probably have to bring into Photoshop and really get rid of just to clean up this area down here. Oops, let me just get rid of, bring it over just a little bit. There we go. So you can see, one second guys. You can see that, I just gotta turn the camera back on. You can see that that brings a lot of the focus back towards him if you get rid of obstructions like that. So ideally you want to do all this in the camera, but when you're writing you can't control the background. But just getting rid of that right there, if you were to clean this up in Photoshop, would help a lot. But yeah, here's a before, here's an after. All right guys, let me see what kind of questions you have. Let's see what we got here. We got Faith Ryan Johnny here. Hey, Faith Ryan Johnny, congratulations on the last win. All right, guys, go ahead and vote for your winner, and we'll do it together. Let me just go back and go through the choices one more time. Number 1 is going to be Mr. Josh. We'll wrap this up. Josh here is number 1, Vizimoto. Number 2 is Mr. Steven Tripp, aka @Camel. 23, and then number 3 is Dean Nola Rolla. Jeff Dana is number 4. Number 5 is Ryan Burke. Number 6 is Sam, and number 7 is Adam. So go ahead and vote right now. I haven't drank a lot, man. Usually I have another guest with me, so I can point the camera at them, drink through my drink, and then take a breath. But yeah, let me know if you guys like the solo Photogromer live versus having a guest. So it's a little bit harder when it's just me, but we kind of get down to the point. But go ahead and vote for your favorite submission, and we'll crown a winner. And again, they'll be featured on. Let's go ahead and bring this up on Photogromer.com, the live showcase. They're going to get a 12 by 8 by 12 printout of their photo, which will be a nice little printout that'll look kind of like this. There you go. So I print that out, mail them out to them, and they'll get that in the mail with some stickers. So this was episode 1 winner, Blaine, and then Faith Ryan Johnny won last videos with his Man in the Box featured Grom here at Atlanta Motorsports Park. All right, guys. So it looks like we're getting. I'm just looking at who's the winners. So got a couple of 1s, couple 2s, a 7, which is Adam. Oh man. Let's see. I'm just gonna count them. So we got, just vote once, guys. That way I can count them real quick. A couple of number 3s, which is from Nola Rolla. He's voting for himself. Good job, my man. Stay humble. Number 1. Yeah. So a couple number 2s. Yeah, I'm gonna go with number 2 as well, guys. Number 2 did it for me. It's a very clean shot. So let's pick which one we want. I would go with this one right here. Clean shot. So Steven, you're definitely got the quality photo. Your supporting photos were amazing too. Love your quality, love your framing and stuff. So good job. Go ahead and announce the winner. Mr. Steven here, Tripp, wins episode 3 on Photogromer Live. Pretty amazing shots there. If you guys want to submit, again, You can submit at photogromer.com/live. So just if you go to photogromer.com, hit live up here, scroll down, you'll get some guidelines right here. Make sure you pay attention to those. Fill out all this information here, additional information, and submit it to photogrammerlive@gmail.com. You'll get a notification that you've been accepted within 24 hours and an episode number of which episode you'll appear on. So right now, I think we have like 2 or 3 spots left for episode 4. After episode 4, so something new I'm going to do, which I think will be kind of fun. A little Price is Right kind of showcase showdown. So the previous 4 winners, so whoever wins episode 4 plus Faith, Right, and Johnny plus Steven plus Blaine, they're going to compete for the 5th episode. So Photogrammer Live episode 5 is going to be a showcase showdown or a winner showdown. So those 4 guys will compete for a winner of the winners, and they got to go out and reshoot photos, so they got to resubmit and everything. But they're going to be on episode 5 together, kind of fighting for the top of the top. And then, we'll kick it back off with episode 6, just regular user submitted. But go ahead, if you have any questions, last minute questions, post them in the chat below. I'll go ahead and pull that up right now, see what's going on in the chat. A lot of congratulations to Steven, Orion, Barack Obama's back in here. He was here in the first episode, I think. Grom Garage, if you guys haven't checked them out, check them out. Just looking at my notes real quick. Yeah, everything's good. Next episode, May 30th, which is going to be a Tuesday. So I want to keep it consistent. My idea, let me take a sip of this guy. My idea is to do this show every 2 weeks. So that'll be enough time in between to gather photos. And, I travel a lot and make sure I'm home. So I'm thinking every second Tuesday, every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. will be the live show. So I'm going to go with that. So the next one will be May 30th. And then every other Tuesday from that at 8 p.m. will be the live show. So I'm trying to give you guys like a regular schedule for this show so you guys can tune in and it's not something sporadic. So every other Tuesday, I'll be here live. We might do guest hosts. We'll see, depending on if you like more guest hosts or if you don't, if you just want more editing or more time on the user submitted photos, or if you want other input from other guests that I can get on the couch. Let me know in the comments below. If you're not watching live, the live chat doesn't translate into comments, so come back and comment. Let me know. But yeah, we'll do the next one on May 30th, which is a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Again, I'll be in Vegas this weekend, so in Visimodo, I'm sorry I didn't select you as the winner, but if you can get a Grom and want to, come over to the Paris and, meet up and maybe we can film some stuff, let me know. Just shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Let's go ahead and answer some questions here. Let's see here. Why do you kill Dambo? I don't know. Dambo just keeps getting killed, man. So if you guys don't know, this is Dambo. It's short for Dan Board. It's a little Amazon product, but I keep killing him. The last one died at Grom Day 5.0. He fell off in the middle of the ride. I didn't notice until afterwards, so he's somewhere out there right now in the streets of downtown Jacksonville getting ran over by cop cars. What made me get into photography? As a hobby, I guess. A hobby is, just kind of started as a hobby. As a little kid, I had a camcorder. I think when I was like in 2nd grade, I got my first camcorder and just started videotaping stuff. Photography I got into in I was into it like throughout high school and when I was in the Marines, but I really got into it, bought my first DSLR back in 2006, I think, when I first got out of the Marines, and then just kind of picked up as a hobby like a lot of you guys are doing. And it just kind of progressed. I found a business model that worked and I made money at it. So that's how I kind of kept it going. Faith, Ryan, Johnny asking the date for the 5th one. The 5th one's going to be the 2nd Tuesday after the 30th. So let me just pull up a calendar. So 30th is Tuesday. It'll be the 13th of June. So right after Smoky Mountain Crawl, that'll be the next live show, 13th of June, which will be the Showcase Showdown. So get those submissions in. 13th. You got it, Grom Garage. Appreciate it. Jaws Photo Life. I see you're in here, buddy. So shout out to you. This is the mail time winner that he gave. He mailed in this awesome retro Polaroid camera, which I finally figured out how to extend. Thanks for those snaps. I'll be taking this to Smoky Mountain Crawl, taking photo. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, he sent that in part of mail time, and you guys posted in the comments said that was the most unique item. So he's winning a Loopy shirt that should be mailed out to you. You should see it pretty soon. Pancakes or waffles? Ooh, man. I'm gonna go pancakes. My buddy Andre would say crepes, but I'm gonna go pancakes. Who won the 360 Wheelie Challenge? Who will win it? We're going to find out the winner at the Smoky Mountain Crawl. Grommy Bear and myself will kind of duke it out at Tennessee. We'll do a live one. Would I ever consider being a cop? Nope. Yeah. So, this is sad without sound. Why are you watching without sound? Oh, Jaw's life is probably at work. Live show at the Crawl? I don't know about that. It's going to be, we're leaving... Probably not. Tuesday's the day after we get back, so we leave on Monday. We can probably do an Instagram live one. So I got a cabin with, I think, 7 of us coming from Tampa. So we might have some of you guys over at the cabin and might do like an Instagram live. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, add Photogromer on everything. Just follow me on there. We might do a live show there. Do I want another bike? No, I thought about DRZ, but I'm probably going to move away from that. I don't think, I don't think I would get a DRZ. I thought I wanted to get a DRZ, but I'm having enough fun with the Grom to where I don't really feel like I need the big bike. All right, guys, an hour and 5 minutes, not bad for a single live show by myself. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, make sure you give it a like down below if you haven't done so already. Make sure you come back and comment because all this live chat stuff doesn't translate into comments. So come back, comment, let me know what you thought about the live show, and then tune in on May 30th on Tuesday, and then every other Tuesday after that. And we'll continue this Photogromer Live. No product spotlight for this week. But yeah, definitely in the future, I'm going to try to work with some companies and maybe get some stuff for the future. But if you want to support the show, pick up a Tampa Grom Squad shirt. You can do so at the link below in the description, or a Loopy shirt. Sticker packs are available as well. Get some Loopy stickers. Appreciate the support, guys. You guys have been pretty amazing with the support. Can't thank you enough. It's awesome to get that financial support every time an order comes in. I see you guys repping. I got an Arson Ride shirt, so I like to support the guys that make this community go around, and I appreciate the guys that support, or the people that support me as well. But yeah, we'll kind of end it right now. I hope you got some Lightroom tips and tricks out of this episode. Like I said, it was a little bit different than the previous episodes. If you have any Lightroom questions, please post the comments and questions below. I'll try to answer them in the next episode, or kind of dial in the episodes of the shows based on what you guys want to see. So if you want to see more editing, more product reviews, more user submitted photos, let me know in the comments below. That way I can kind of tweak this live show to what you guys enjoy. So we're going to end it there. I'm going to find my Loopy's track right here, and then we'll cut it. But congratulations to Steven. Good photo. I appreciate you submitting. If you want to submit, photogromer.com/live. Thank you for everybody in the live chat. Put you guys up real quick. Everyone that's been talking in the live chat, thank you. I appreciate it. I kind of been monitoring it, but it's been a little tricky. Haven't even got through half of my drink, which is kind of embarrassing. But again, thanks to everybody that joined in and submitted photos. And I will see you on May 30th when we do episode 4 of Photogromer Live. Again, a couple more slots are open, so get your submissions in. Link in the description below. All right, guys, go ahead and end this right now, and I appreciate the support. I will see you in the next one. I didn't want that one. Hold on, guys. We'll do this one. There we go. All right, guys. See you later.